Today we're looking up Magic the Gathering cards that are undervalued for $350 or less. Okay, I'm gonna start off with Bonder's Enclave. It's a land. It adds generic mana. It adds colorless mana. But the deal is you can draw a card, pay 3 tap, draw a card, activate this ability only if you control a creature with power 4 or greater. It gives me Library of Alexandria vibes, and frankly, I don't think there's a whole lot of lands that let you strictly draw cards repeatedly every single turn. And if there are more, I mean, let me know in the comment section below, because I'm going to throw them into my own deck. Bonder's Enclave. Love this card. And we also, you do need to have some chunky creatures in your deck. Just play with a commander that's like 4 power, and you know, that basically solves the problem by itself. And then we have Bontu's Monument. We have a legendary artifact for 3 mana. Black creature spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. So forget the medallions. Screw them all. Just go get the monuments. It's basically like a medallion, and it's probably on curve anyway because you're playing Soul Ring. But the deal is whenever you cast a creature spell, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. I mean, this is strictly better extort as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, you gotta only play creatures. But whatever, play your zombies, your vampires, get a little discount on those things, and also gain a bunch of life while they lose life. The castles, well, some of them. Which one? Which castles let you draw cards? Some of them let you scry. Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. You know what? You're right. One of the black ones does. I should have mentioned... Don't forget it. You're right. Yeah, the Castle Embreth? Or you want to just mention this for one of for the show? Hold on. Castle Embreth. Well, it's less than it's definitely less than 350. Enters the battlefield, tapped unless you control a mountain, add a red. And then we have red, 1 generic tap. Creatures you control get +1/+0 until end of turn. Huge fan of lands that have also activated abilities. I'm a huge land person, and this also adds red mana. Go into every red person's deck. TCG Dude says, Bontu's Monument recently made its way into my mono black zombie deck. Exactly where it belongs. Not every monument is a winner, though. Kefnet's Monument sucks. It's like, I looked at it. It's like play your blue creatures cost 1 less, but then when you play blue creatures, you get to tap a creature down and it stays frozen. Oh, it's awful. I hate it. LN Chan Gaming. Eon Frolicker. We're looking up cool cards that are good value. Oh my god, this is like penny stocks. It's 10 cents. Blue 2 generic for a 5/5 elemental otter. Flying. When the Eon Frolicker enters the battlefield, if you cast it, target opponent takes an extra turn after this one. So not you. Until your next turn, you and planeswalkers you control gain protection from that player. Alright, so I'm gonna make you a deal you can't refuse. I'm gonna give you an extra turn, but you cannot lay a finger on me. That's how we're dealing with here. And they get a 5/5 creature. That sounds so dangerous. You get 5. This is like those old genies with a downside, except in this case it's an otter. Wild card. Spaz Maze Mine Tome. What happened to this card from Spaz? This used to see modern play, and then it like just disappeared. Look at all the abilities. It's a planeswalker for 2 mana. All right. Tap, put a page counter on Maze Mine Tome. Scry 1. Pay 2. Tap, put a page counter on Maze Mine Tome. Draw a card. Beautiful. And then when there are 4 more page counters on Maze Mine Tome, exile it. If you do gain 4 life, so you get a little life gain. You could just put page counters on it over and over and over again and draw cards, or you can scry for nothing. I think it's an amazing card. It's very underrated. Sky Neo. Magmasaur, I feel, is underrated. How many people are not playing with Maze Mine Tome in their deck? I know there's a lot of you out there. Alright, Magmasaur. Good God. Is it dying? Or is it just eating out of the lava? Alright, we have red 3 generic 0/0 elemental lizard. Magmasaur enters the battlefield with 5 +1/+1 counters on it. I want to say this is like Magmar and Charizard. It's like a wingless Charizard and a Magmar together. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may remove a +1/+1 counter from Magmasaur if you don't sacrifice Magmasaur, and it deals damage equal to the number of +1/+1 counters on it to each creature without flying in each player. Oh! So it's like an earthquake. So it's a bit of a creature, or you alternatively, next turn, can blow up the board. But this effect only triggers at upkeep. Interesting card. Very neat. Love it. We got J-Hogue! War Room, Sneaky Good and Colorless Commander. Tangent, why the F is the One Ring so expensive online? Twice the price of in real life. Because it's a super competitive card now. The competitive, you see, Commander players, you only need 1 copy of that thing. But the competitive players, we need 4. We need to jam the decks up with as many One Rings as possible. And it's a huge card in both Modern and Legacy. So you can never have enough One Rings. I don't know, it's probably seen playing Vintage too. War Room, tap, add a colorless. Pay 3, tap. Oh, you are just on the line here with 350. Look, right under the nose. Pay 3, tap. Pay life equal to the number of colors in your commander's colors identity. Draw a card. I love it. This is not a good sound effect. There we go. I love that one. More drawing cards. Drawing cards off of the lands. I can't get enough of that stuff. Once you've learned to draw cards repeatedly, you can't go back. It's like an addiction. Well, let's take one from the freebie section. Wash Away. My friend played... Oh, no. Oh, I was thinking of Washout. Okay, I was thinking of Washout. Okay, what do we have for Wash Away? It's a blue instant. Counter target spell that wasn't cast from its owner's hand. But you can play Cleave. So you cleave for 3. You can cast it without its cleave cost. So just counter the spell for 3 mana. It's not bad. It's not. So you can counter spells that got cheated in play for a blue. And then, I mean, if you randomly have 3 mana up, you just counter anything you want. Cool card. We got Rated Lex. Pet card of mine, Fate Spinner. Oh, Fate Spinner is such a fun one. You gotta skip something. Alright, you got blue, 1 generic for a 1/2 human wizard. At the beginning of each opponent's upkeep. Oh, it doesn't affect you. I totally forgot about that. That player chooses draw step, main phase, or combat phase. The player skips each instant of the chosen step or phase this turn. You gotta make you gotta make a sacrifice you can't refuse, because the Fate Spinner said so. It's one of the, you know, this is one of those like really unique cards that distort the game. Who else do we have here? Houston, Spell Swindler. Like the name of that card. Spell Swindle something. Spell Swindle. Alright, blue, 3 generic instant. Counter target spell. Create X treasure tokens where X is that spell's mana value. It's like Mana Drain. It's Mana Drain, but for a lot more mana. But you get to store the mana. You don't have to spend it all at once. And also you can add mana of any color. With Mana Drain, you have to literally just use colorless mana, which sort of blows. I like it. I like counter spells. Everyone's giving me a lot of good suggestions for my next commander deck. Or just jam in my current commander deck. We got LN Chan Gaming again. Vendalkin Mastermind. Vendalkin goes infinite with that otter. We don't know how to spell this. Mastermind. There we go. Blue, tap. Sorry. Okay, for a 1/2 creature, pay a blue, tap, return target permanent you control to its owner's hand. I don't know how you go infinite with this. Because you don't... The otter, it gave someone else the extra turn, not you. Oh, it's not even called an otter. It's called the Eon Frolicker. Here's the battlefield. If you cast it, target opponent takes an extra turn after this one until your next turn. You don't... I don't know how you go infinite. I don't think you do. In my opinion. I don't understand how this works, if it does. Alright, Zuron Orb. Okay, Zuran. You want to gain some life? It's a 0 mana artifact. Sack a land, you gain 2 life. Okay, then. I'm so pissed they banned the Is It Otter. Why? It was basically... you didn't even get it. There wasn't even enough time for you to play with the damn thing. That's hilarious. They banned a card that you never played with. I sort of get it. Damn it, I was gonna put that otter in my commander deck. There aren't that many otters in this damn game. Pithing Needle. You know what? I almost agree. Almost every deck should probably play this card. And no, hardly anyone does. You know, admit it. Do you have Pithing Needle in, like, even 5% of your decks? As Pithing Needle enters the battlefield, choose a card name. Activated abilities of sources with the chosen name can't be activated unless they're mana abilities. It's like removal, but removal for any activated abilities. And for a lot of cards, they just get neutralized by Pithing Needle immediately. Alright, we got more super chats. We got Platonic Liquid with the Daring Thief. Or are we gonna name all the otters today? Oh, I thought this was the otter. One of the otters is like a swiperoonie guy. Okay, blue 2 generic for a 2/3 human rogue. With Inspired, whenever Daring Thief becomes untapped, you may exchange control of target non-land permanent you control and target permanent an opponent controls that shares a card type with it. That is insane! So basically, and there's always going to be someone open at the table, or you can even tap it to activate some other ability like Springleaf Drum, and then you just start exchanging your garbage, your crummy old doorstops for delicious danishes. It's effectively how you use this card. It's pretty brilliant. Station Disastrous Fight Rigging. Alright, we got a green 2 generic enchantment with Hideaway 5. At the beginning of combat on your turn, put a counter, +1/+1 counter, on target creature you control. Then if you control a creature with power 7 or greater, you may play the exiled card without paying its mana cost. Slowly make things bigger and also get a free card off of the Hideaway. Are you really suggesting Zur the Enchanter is underrated? This seems like a lame card to say. Don't know, like 1 million people play this card? They've reprinted it 1 million times without reason. I don't think this... Isn't this thing busted? You may search your library for an enchantment card with mana value 3 or less but not the battlefield. You can get Necropotence! This is not underrated. It's well, I don't know if it's overrated, but it's heavily played. Everyone knows about this card. Alright, next up, we've got Sky Neo. I also don't see Blood Sun often either. Oh yeah, that's true. Shut off fetch lands with this one simple trick. Red 2 generic enchantment. Enters the battlefield, draw a card. So you're not losing anything, alright? People, it's strict upside. And all lands lose all abilities except mana abilities. No, don't steal my card draw ability. Don't do it. Leave it alone. Back off. Let me draw my cards off of my... What was that stupid card at the beginning of the show? The card draw spells. My lands. Alright, we got Michael here with Ovika. Who's Ovika? And why did a bunch of other stuff show up? Oh, here we go. Alright, we got red, blue, 5 generic. 6/6 Phyrexian Nightmare. Flying, ward 3. And you have to pay 3 life. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, create X/1/1 red Phyrexian Goblin. Goblins? Creature tokens where X is the mana value of that spell. They gain haste until end of turn. This looks like an AI-generated card to me. This doesn't even look real. It's a... Okay, get this, people. Can you tell if this is a real card? It's a Phyrexian Nightmare in the Is It colors. And get this. It flies, and it makes goblins with haste. Can you guess if this is a real Magic card designed by R&D, or was this an AI-generated card? And people say, well, that's clearly AI-generated. And I'd be like, you're totally wrong. This literally came out, and what is this, the Mother of Machines? No, all will be one. Yeah, it's real, and it sounds ridiculous. That's good value, though. You cast your spells, you get goblins with haste. What's the flavor to that? The goblins are the robotic goblins. What the hell are robotic goblins? Tried to build with it on Arena. It's so clunky. Oh, yeah, I mean, you're going to need... You need the power of the fast man of Commander. Be one with the power of Commander mana. Okay, 9 lives from Super Duper. Can get 90 in EDH. And there's tons of combos surrounded by that card. Is it really 9 lives for you? Okay, wait, white, 1 generic, hexproof. If a source... Do you know what the real 9 lives should be? It's like, if you would die, or if your life total would go down to 0, put your life total back to the starting life total and put a 9 lives counter on 9 lives. If there are 9 lives counters on 9 lives, then you lose the game. That's the real 9 lives. Okay, but what does... Or that's what 9 lives should be. What is the actual 9 lives? Hexproof. If a source would deal damage to, prevent that much damage and put an incarnation counter on 9 lives. If there are 9 or more incarnation counters on, exile it. When 9 lives leaves the battlefield, you lose the game. Just a source, a random source. No, you should actually die. That's the whole point of 9 lives. Play 9 lives, then play Lich when it goes down to 1 counter. 9 and Solemnity. Yeah, here come the combos. To some extent, I think this is a heavily played card. Can you name all the legendary cats in the art? No! And I made a video on this card, and apparently everyone had to correct me. Apparently there's no Ajani in any of this. Which blew my mind away. Stranger's Candy! With Hell's Caretaker. I see you in hell with the Caretaker. Okay, we got a black 3 generic 1/1 horror. Tap, sack a creature, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Activates this ability only during your upkeep. Who cares if it doesn't even cost any mana to do this. This card actually looks insane. This is a little bit of like, you know, a casual card, but it's on the same line. It's on the same level as what's it called? Those Quicksilver amulets or whatever. You Quicksilver creatures in play, but this one's for the Reanimator players. You sack a creature, you do a switcheroo from what's in the graveyard on the battlefield. 1/1, but well, you're not here for the 1/1. You're here for the ability. It's like it's an artifact in creature form, effectively. All right, we got, what do we need? More super chats here. LN Chan Gaming, thanks so much. I know it gives you infinite protection, but also Lutri. I think this is an underplayed card because it's just banned in Commander. You know, if I am not mistaken. Banned! There's no deck building restriction towards this card. Unless you're talking about, like, in Modern. I have lost to a Lutri deck in Modern before. But one good thing about playing against a Lutri deck, you know they don't have more than 1 copy of any particular card. So after they've burned it, it's gone. You've used up their Lightning Bolt? Great. I don't have to play around Lightning Bolt for the rest of the game. Timmy with Telepathy. Oh, that's interesting. You know, I'm a huge fan of Peak, but Telepathy in Commander is just overwhelmingly more powerful. Enchantment. Your opponents play with their hands revealed. All right, no secrets around here. Tell me what you got. And so basically now you create a war between each player because everyone looks like a threat. Except you, because no one knows actually what's in your hand. Oh, they got a board wipe. Get him! Go get that. We gotta kill him before the board wipe comes in play. What is this Eon Hub? We got 5 generic artifact. Players skip their upkeep steps. What? So hold on. Oh, basically you just don't get anything to trigger. Is this like some weird prison card? Is it like something that Stacks players would play? Or did Stacks players need their upkeep? This is a unique card. I didn't even know this even existed. I am today's years old to find out Eon Hub is an actual card. Its power source is time itself. It absorbs unused minutes and hours, bringing the end of existence always closer. Yeah, keep those turns a little bit shorter. Oh, it breaks cumulative upkeep. True story. All right, so no cumulative upkeep. So if there's any weird, stupid commutative upkeep cards that you want to play it with the Eon Hub. I guess that's one way to bring commutative upkeep back. All right, Super Duper says that might make a good episode. Real cards that seem like they are AI generated. If you haven't done, I haven't done that yet, but I don't. The problem is I don't know that many cards to start the show. I don't know. Maybe you guys just leave some in the comments section. I'll remember. And also, can we even think of that many cards? I don't know. Sky Neo. Last one before going back to work. Any of the Orb of Dragon kinds. Really good mana rocks for Dragon decks. The Dragon kinds. Or am I just supposed to look up Orb of? Orb of... Orb of, like, what, Silumgar or something? Oh, God! Are these alchemy cards? The Orb of Dragonkind. Oh, no, they're commander cards. Alright, we got blue 2 generic. For tap out of blue. When you spend this mana to cast a dragon spell, scry 2. For all them dragon loves out there. Never leave home without them. Alright, Brian Kibler, how many orbs of Dragonkinds do you have? It's literally called Dragonkind. There has to be like 20 to 30 cards of a type to make a show. Sometimes it could be 10. I'll just stretch the commentary very, very far. Okay, let's start with Ovika. Oh, you're talking about starting the show with Ovika. Yeah, I mean, maybe. Okay, Argentina, what do you got here? Port Cullis. Script EDH like limited resources, but is not banned. Maybe because people just don't know it exists. How many cards out there just lay dormant for a long time until people found out, oh my god, this thing's OP, everyone needs to play it. Things like Mystic Remora. For generic mana, whenever any creature comes into play, if there are 2 or more other creatures in play, set that creature aside. The hell does that mean? If Portcullis leaves play, put the creature into play under its owner's control. Okay, what does aside mean? If there are 2 or more creatures on the battlefield, exile that creature. Okay. Then return that creature to the battlefield under its owner's control. Ah, now I know what you mean by limited resources. It's limited resources for creatures. This looks like a horribly unfun card to exist. I don't want to see this across from me. Yeah, move it to the sidelines. Put it aside. Yeah, all these words for remove from the game, put it aside, put it under. Now it's all exile, it's all one zone. They fixed the game. The McBullet. What is this, like the drive-through? Is your name based on like the drive-through to a guns factory or something? Like a McBullet, please. With extra ammo. I don't know if it's been said yet, but packed weapon. Okay, we got black 3 generic artifact equipment. As long as a packed weapon is attached to a creature, you don't lose the game for having 0 or less life. Oh my god. This is the 100 lives card. Whenever a equipped creature attacks, draw a card and reveal it. The creature gets +X/+X until end of turn, and you lose X life, where X is that card's mana value. But you can, like, go to the negative life, so who cares? Equip, discard a card. I think this card's insane. As long as it's attached to a creature, you just gotta make sure the creature is untargetable. I guess you also have to make sure the packed weapon doesn't get blown up either. But outside of that, you draw cards and you buff the creature up like a billion. And it looks cool. Double M bullet. Exactly. All right, we got, okay, what do we got from the freebie section here? Basic Mountain, that's boring. Maybe it's underrated. Could be true. Wild Defiance. What are you, an infect player? My pet card, good protection for cheap. It's a 3-mana enchantment. Whenever a creature you control becomes the target of an instant or a sorcery spell, that creature gets +3/+3 until end of turn. Are you trying to protect you playing a metagame with like a lot of burn spells or something? That's like wild. Generally speaking, this is good for the infect players because you can just like play any random spell targeting your creatures, like make them unblockable, and they get buffed up. Okay, the lore. We get to learn a little bit more about the lore. The McBullet is a reference to supermarket, comma. Don't leave us on such a cliffhanger here, McBullet. Anyway, this is one of the most unique, one of the more interesting names. Oh, supermarket, Superbad? Reference to Superbad? Not familiar. But maybe someone else knows. Okay, I'm Noah and I second Risen Reef. I don't even know who first Risen Reef. Risen Reef, I hate this card. This card is absolutely destroying Modern. It's a blue, it looks so stupid. This goes on my candidates for like top 10 cards that look like crap, but then when you play against it, it's just completely broken. Whenever Risen Reef or another elemental enters the battlefield under your control, look at the top card of your library. If it's a land, slam it onto the battlefield. But if it's not a land, you can put it into your hand. So basically, it's like a Silvergill Adept or Elvish Visionary for elementals. Except it's worse because if you draw a land... So basically, you're always drawing a card, but if it's a land card, you get to directly put onto the battlefield, hence ramping you. And it's a continuous one. I mean, imagine Elvish Visionary that let you draw a card every single time you put an elf in play. It'd be absolutely insane. And this card's only 1 mana more. Yeah, if you can play the Risen Reef and you're playing a lot of elementals, you'd be a fool not to be playing this card. Absolute fool. That's the way I look at it now. Wow, it's 1 mana more than Elvish Visionary, but a continuous effect, and puts the lands in play. Absolutely broken. Platonic Liquid. Smelting Vat. Especially with artifact copies. Speaking of elementals, Incandescent Soulstone. Okay, we'll look at that one. Alright, Smelting Vat, 4 mana. Artifact, pay 1 tap. Sacrifice another artifact, reveal the top 8 cards of your library. Put up to 2 non-creature artifact cards with total mana value less than or equal to the sacrifice artifact's mana value from among them onto the battlefield, and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Is this like, Birthing Pod? How old is this card? It's from the Brothers War. Pay 1 tap, sack another artifact, just like Birthing Pod. Reveal the top 8 cards. Oh, so you can't dig super deep into your library. But you get to put 2 non-creature artifact cards with total mana value less than or equal. Oh, so you can sack a 5 mana card, go get a total of 5 mana, 3 and 2, or 1 and 4, put onto the battlefield. Interesting. A little way of, I don't know how to use this card. I'm sure there's some way to break it, though. There's so many artifacts you can, like, bring back from the graveyard or get value when you sacrifice them. Not surprised. Okay, so hold on. What did we were going to look at this Incandescent Soulstone. It's a elemental lord. Okay, play it with your Risen Reef. The Amazing Wally. I haven't seen you in a while. Rip apart. Rip them away. All right, we got a white, red. Oh yeah, this is like a pretty versatile spell. Choose 1, 3 damage to target creature or planeswalker, or you could destroy, or it's like disenchant. Destroy an artifact or enchantment. Almost strictly better disenchant, except you have to pay a red for that 3 damage clause. But that clause is pretty good. Oh, and it's sorcery. A little bit stinky, but you know, it's okay. You need it for the extra ability. I am convinced that Invasion of Segovia is insane. Invasion of Segovia. You know what? I bet there's a lot of these invasions that are so good, but no one wants to play them because they're just weird cards. Blue 2 generic siege. When Invasion of Segovia enters the battlefield, create 2 1/1 blue Kraken creature tokens with trample. And so if you destroy this thing, you get a Keita Sea Tyrant of Segovia. It's a 3/3 serpent. Non-creature spells you cast have Convoke. Okay. At the beginning of your end step, untap up to 4 target creatures. Oh! So basically, you're just continually playing spells for free, or you attack with your creatures, untap them, and then you can play your spells for free off of your creatures. Pretty neat card. All right, you heard the music, and we're gonna look at more underrated cards for $3.50. You know where you can buy them $3.50 cards? FusionGamingOnline.com. It's your place for all your underrated Magic the Gathering cards, and also deal of the week this week. Save 15% off all Mirrodin block singles. You love them artifacts? You need them Chalice of the Voids, Trinispheres, Chrome boxes. Is Trinisphere good at Commander? You could ramp it. If you ramp it out early, you screw over everyone else. It's like, hey, don't be cheating around here. Everyone gonna be playing. We're gonna play Battle Cruiser Commander one way or another. That's how we do it with Trinisphere. I'm sure the, what's it called? The unfun prison decks probably play it. Anyway, yeah. You want to support the channel? Buy from Fusion Gaming. Or also, when you use those deal of the weeks, use coupon code Nikachu to get an additional 5% off. And also, hey, it supports me. We're also going to support, and we're also going to thank Mana Traders, the premier place for renting Magic cards online. Play your One Rings. Don't buy your One Rings because they're so expensive. Rent them on with Mana Traders. You can support the channel by using my Mana Traders link in the description below, or save 10% off your first 2 months using coupon code Nikachu_B3R. Bow, 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 bow. Where are we? Back to 350 cards. Nalia! Delirium, my favorite gotcha card. We all like a good gotcha card. We all like a good reader, too. That's like winning half the war, you know, when you get your opponent to read your card. It's like, oh, I could not have played around this, because I've never heard of it. I'm waiting for... Okay, I can read a little bit of it. Okay, we have a red-black, 1 generic, instant, play only on target opponent's turn. Tap target creature that player controls. That creature deals to that player an amount of damage equal to its power. The creature neither deals nor receives combat damage this turn. Oh, that's it. So you could do this. You could technically... Can you do this in the attack step? Cast this spell only during an opponent's turn. Tap target creature that player controls. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you could do that. So if they attack you, you could be like, oh, no, Delirium. You don't attack me. You attack yourself. Stop hitting yourself. Stop hitting yourself with Delirium. Jacob with Navinral's Disc. Why not? Navinral. Is this good enough? Navinral's Disc. I used to play this a lot back in the day. These days, I want to actually keep my stuff on the battlefield, though. So it makes a little bit more awkward to be playing Navinral's Disc. But if you're like a control player, you don't care what the hell is on the board. Sure, why not? Pay 4 mana. It's a 4 mana board wipe. Anyone can play this. I mean, maybe this is underrated. Like, everyone should have a Navinral's Disc, just as that, you know, that silver bullet, just for any spot that you can't deal with normally. Everyone can deal. Everyone has access to like blowing everything up with Navinral's Disc. It's been around since beta. Sorry, alpha. Alpha's the first set. This card just turns into player elimination for me now. Oh yeah? So basically, you play Navinral's Disc and it's like, all right, he's gonna destroy all our stuff. Go get Tommy. He's right over there. See the truth, says Christopher B. It's in Jesse's blue-white deck because you're a control deck there. That's the whole point. Scarfall, act a little slow today. Blue 1 generic sorcery. Look at the top 3 cards of your library. Put one of those cards into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. But if it was cast from anywhere other than your hand, put each of those cards into your hand instead. Cheat this from your graveyard, and you'll be rich in cards. 2 mana, draw 3. That's broken. But not if you play it from your hand. Yo Little Ted with the ground seal. I mean, I don't know. Maybe everyone should have this card. It's for the metagame where people are screwing on with whoever is trying to play See the Truth in the See the Truth metagame. When the ground seal enters the battlefield, draw a card. Cards in graveyards can't be the target of spells or abilities. Make it harder for you to target your See the Truth and recast it. Maybe not impossible though, but harder. Emil, retreat to Coral Helm. Retreat. Retreat! Sort of card advantage from land drops. Yeah, so, technically card quality. Okay, blue 2 generic. Landfall, you can either tap or untap a creature, or you can scry one, so just help your draw steps out. We have a whole lot of super chats here. Isaiah! The art on iKite is underrated. What? I don't know. Who's in favor of iKite here? Speak now or forever hold your peace. What is this, a blue 1 generic 1/2? I mean, obviously we're not playing this. iKite gets +2/+0 as long as you've drawn 2 or more cards this turn. Well, I'm not playing this card for any normal reason. Okay, yeah, well, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. That's what makes art so interesting. Alright, next up we got Parabox. Doomed Necromancer. He be doomed. Oh, Obaphone says, I like the eyes. I mean, that's the only thing you can stare at. It's Zybers. The eye. This guy's been like, this is a drag, or sorry, it's a drake. This is a drake that is on, like, I don't know, their 10th cup of coffee for the day. They've got to pull that all-nighter, keeping watch over the, I don't know, slumbering isle. Alright, we got the Doom Necromancer, black 2 generic 2/2, human cleric mercenary. Pay a black tap, sacrifice Doom Necromancer. Okay, they knew they were going to sacrifice themselves. Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. This is like a slightly, I think, slightly weaker version of that last card where you just tap sack any creature and then do a switcheroo from creatures from the graveyard to the battlefield. But same idea. Yeah, all the drugs. I'll tell you what, iKite is really good for the memes. We need more googly eyes in Magic, and this is one of them. The flavor text is neat though. Okay, this one will need direction. After all, each of its eyes is larger than its brain. Okay, I'll give you this. The meme potential in iKite is through the roof. Through the roof. Definitely worth it. We got Station Disaster. Mana Tithe. Oh god. I think this is accurately rated for a card. Man, this card is overpriced for a card that should not be in anybody's deck. But the thing, no one expects the Force Spike out of the white deck. A white instant carry target spell unless its controller pays 1. GWJ, Leyline Tyrant. Ooh, I like Leyline Tyrant. So it'd be dragons. There'd be dragons on this island. All right, we got a red 2 generic 4/4 flyer. You don't lose unspent red mana as steps and phases end, and when Leyline Tyrant dies, you may pay any amount of red. When you do, it deals that much damage to any target. Just like load this thing up like a machine, like a big cannonball, like a Death Star. Leyline Tyrant is basically a Death Star. You put the little orb in the background, and he's like a big blast or something. They're just charging him up. Aiden, Mirror Mockery. Great for both aggro and control. Blue 1 generic, enchant creature. Whenever enchanted creature attacks, you may put a token onto the battlefield that's a copy of that creature. Exile that token at end of combat. Ah, that's very interesting. So you put it on your own creature to make multiples. Or you put it on somebody else's creature and make sure they don't attack you. Or you even get their creature. Hopefully it has a tap ability that you can use. But they'll never want to attack you because you'll just probably block their creature with your token. Well, it sort of sucks you don't get it for forever. Exile it. I think it'd be even more interesting if you put one on your opponent's creature and you keep it forever. So you incrementally keep getting more and more of this creature. Stand Still. Oh god, how does this card work in Commander? Whenever a player plays a spell, sack Standstill. If you do, each of that player's opponents draws 3 cards. It's... Take your time. Yeah, I guess so. This is gonna help not just you. I guess it's still sort of a neat card, so anyone who wants to, like, you know, combo off or get the game going, you're gonna help basically everybody else. Oh, the token has no haste? Get out of here. You may put a token onto the battlefield that's a cost. Oh, yeah, you're right. Oh, that blows. Oh, well. Oh, damn. I need standstill in my group hug. Yeah, this is a group hug card. This is like a decent competitive card one-on-one. But you look at, like, Commander. This is like a super group hug card. Oh, wait a minute. This is like, well, okay. It's like 424. It's okay if you get in heavily played. In a heavily played condition, it will be 350. Okay, more super chats. We got Platonic Liquid. Ikite is strictly better Stormcrow. It is true. But Stormcrow is just blue 1 generic, right? For a 1/2 with flying, and then this is, yes, +2/+0. Strictly better art, apparently, according to some. According to some. Is Larf. Low, though. Corrupt Sheriff is surprisingly very cheap. It is a cheap card. All right, we got a black-white 2/1 halfling rogue. Whenever a player casts their second spell each turn, you lose 1 life and create a treasure token. Is it worth it? Is it worth it to lose a life to get that token? And everyone's gonna... I guess so. It's like a cheaper version of maybe... what's that card called? The white enchantment. You got 40 life, so you might as well use it. But the problem is when your life total gets low, you have to lose that life. So it's like, all right, they're at like 4 life. All right, let's just start chaining some spells together. And you also can't play too many spells. I mean, I guess it's just a high risk, high reward. Who have we not got yet today? I don't know if I got King Ginger. Endless Evil. Endless, huh? Even when the game is over? If it becomes a problem, Orzhov is easy to sack him off. And also, you know, Orzhov has a lot of life gain, so probably it's going to balance out pretty easily. Blue 2 generic aura, enchant creature you control. At the beginning of your upkeep, create a token that's a copy of enchanted creature, except it's a 1/1 puny nothing. When enchanted creature dies, if that creature was a horror, return Endless Evil to its owner's hand. If it was a horror? So just don't play with horror creatures. I don't get it. Like, why did they have that clause? It must be for flavor reasons, or they knew that this would break horror cards. I don't know. I don't know. I don't understand this game anymore. Station Disaster. Devilish Valet. Token is in a token deck is beyond broken. All right, how do we break them token decks? Red 2 generic 1/3 Devil Warrior. Trample and haste. Alliance. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control. Double Devilish Valet's power until end of turn. Oh my goodness. Okay, so you just put a bunch of tokens in play and just... But it doesn't have double... it doesn't have double strike or anything like that, but it does have the trample. Don't underestimate trample, people. Mind Flayers from D&D Tribal. Mind Flayers. The Valet does indeed get out of hand sometimes, very fast. Yeah. Don't underestimate token generators, people. Mind Flayer, maybe? Did you mean Mind Flayer? People who bought Mind Flayers also bought Mind Flayer. Here we go. Why is this one upside down? Oh, is this on the other side or something? Anyway, I don't understand why that card is upside down. Blue 3 generic, 3/3 horror. Dominate monster. When Mind Flayer enters the battlefield, gain control of target creature for as long as you control Mind Flayer. Love it. Swipe those creatures. It's basically Sword of Temptation. It's a Sword of Temptation in horror form. It's built different. It's correct. We have Okay, Pedgeman says Notion Thief is like €1.50, but not sure if it's underrated. Yeah, very overrated. I wouldn't say it's underrated at all. Used to play it with Whispering Madness, end of turn Thief, and then Madness and Cypher on the Thief, and you are pretty much done for the game. Or they're done. Tyler, Gift of Immortality. I like hearing them unique cards. Oh, Mind Flayer is a horror. Combos with Endless Evil. Yeah, it does. You want to make sure you don't break both those cards. Okay, white 2 generic aura. When a enchanted creature dies, return the card to the battlefield under its owner's control. Return Gift of Immortality to the battlefield. Attach that creature at the beginning of the next end step. So basically, that gift, you got to kill them before that gift comes back. Because that gift's going to keep coming back over and over and over again. DualShock Shane. Mind Flayer is upside down because it's from Stranger Things. Mind Flayer the Shadow. 7 mana. Mind Flayer the Shadow isn't a creature unless you control 3 or more permanents you don't own. I'm done with this card. It's a headache to look at. You know, I'm willing to tolerate turning my head sideways for some of those split cards, but not this damn thing. Oh no, Nikachu's upside down too. Everyone's upside down now. Thrun the Last Stroll. Is this underrated in Commander? This is not a bad card. Like, this card used to be premium in Modern. It's like sort of just disappeared. It's a 4 mana 4/4, can't be countered. You can't target with anything. Can't be the target. Sorry, it's got hex proof, and you can regenerate it. It's basically indestructible. Do a barrel roll, not on stream, that's for sure. Yeah, I'm flying. Wait, what do we have here? Oakheim Adversary. We got 4 mana 2/3 Elf Warrior. The spell costs 2 less to cast if an opponent controls a green permanent. What are the odds? Probably pretty good. Death Touch. When it deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. Oh my goodness! So this is a 2 mana 2/3 Elf with Death Touch, and it draws cards. I wish I had something like this for Merfolk. I love dealing damage and drawing cards. It's actually one of my favorite things to do in Magic. It's the most nostalgic way of me playing the game. We got Emil says, how about Gateway Sneak? It's pretty good in a gate deck in EDH. Oh, we got a 3 mana 1/3. This person's sneaking something. What's your name? Sneak. Gateway Sneak. What are you sneaking? Whenever a gate enters the battlefield under your control, Gateway Sneak can't be blocked this turn. Whenever Gateway Sneak deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. Love it. Huge fan of card drawing cards. And for the low price of putting a gate in play. 3 mana is a little expensive though for the effect these days. That's why I was like pretty impressed by this one, which is 2 mana. But someone does need to own a green permanent. I guess that's awkward. Elves should have Forest Walk. You would think. You would think also all merfolk should have Island Walk. The Evil Eye of Orms by Gore. Oops, I didn't spell this right. Non-eye creatures you control can't attack. Okay. Evil Eye of Orms can't be blocked except by walls. Why would you want to play this card? Non-eye creatures you control can't attack. This only affects you. Or do you want to give this to somebody? Get this, donate it. And then, well, basically, they can't attack with any of their non-eyes. Sorry about it. You don't... Sorry, buddy. They need to be an eyeball. I didn't even know an eye is a creature type. Everyone has eyes, for crying out loud. If anything, like, it should be half human, half eye. Everyone should have eye in their, like, creature type box, effectively. We need to errata everything with an eye on it. Except for maybe a few creatures that don't have eyes. What were some interesting suggestions I saw here? Multi. A tree shaker. Chimera. I have so many people giving me trouble about pronouncing Chimera. I like it Chimera better, but whatever. Chimera. 7 mana, 8/5. Chimera. All creatures able to block Tree Shaker Chimera do so. When Tree Shaker Chimera dies, draw 3 cards. Oh, it's Ancestral Recall. The wisdom of the past is written on the bones of ancients. Oh, Willbreaker. Why isn't this card, like, more hyped up? Is it just too clunky? 5 mana, 2/3 human wizard. Whenever a creature an opponent controls becomes the target of a spell or ability you control, gain control of that creature for as long as you control Willbreaker. I guess the problem is there's not many cards in your deck. Like, what do you even put in your deck to target other people's stuff that you can just do normally? Or maybe it's some buffs you could give to your own creatures, but if you have Willbreaker up, then you can, like, target your opponent's stuff. Who have I not got to today? Alex, Warping Whale. This is a card like almost anyone can play. I mean, you're gonna need some colorless mana in your deck, but I mean, you've got Soul Ring, so I mean, it basically fixes itself. Exile target creature with power or toughness 1 or less, which is a million creatures. Counter target sorcery spell. Everyone has them. Or you need a little bit of ramp, you can put an Eldrazi Silent Token in play. Just to basically buff, like ramp out something much larger the next turn. It's an instant, for crying out loud. You might get people suspicious, though, when at the end of your opponent's turn you play Warping Whale to make the Scion token. But what would they do about it? Playing Willbreaker, opponent plays an illusion deck. And so, like, the joke is, like, most, not all, but most illusions are, like, if you target it, they just get sacrificed. Puppeteer Clique. It's a fairy wizard. Looks like a scarecrow. I guess it is a scarecrow. They're all holding it up together. Oh, that's neat. So it's a black 3 generic 3/2 fairy wizard with flying. Enters the battlefield. Put target creature card from an opponent's graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. It gains haste at the beginning of your next end step. Exile it, and it's persist. That scarecrow will come back. What a weird card. All the expertise cards are under $2. Yahini! You like this one, huh? Black 2 generic sorcery. All creatures get -3/-3 until end of turn. You may cast a card with converted mana cost 3 or less from your hand without paying its mana cost. Yeah, I can't remember how did this card. These cards used to get pseudo broken with the split cards, because you like could play like 1/2 of the split card that was cheap, but now like the split cards, the whole mana cost combined is its converted mana cost, so you can't screw around with the split cards anymore. Can you play a creature after wiping the board? You may cast a creature card with converted mana cost 3 or less from your hand. I can't remember how this works. I think it goes in order. First you wipe everything and then you put a creature in play. So I believe that is how it works. So you can put like I think you can put a 2/2 in play afterwards. I think. Alright, we got another Super Chat. Station Disaster. Loves the show. Loves the Super Chat. Skrelv's Hive. This card is not getting enough love, is it? There was a lot of people hyped for Skrelv's Hive, and then I don't know. It's not. If the Bitter Blossom's still more expensive. It's a 2-mana enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, you lose 1 life. Create a 1/1 colorless Phyrexian Might artifact creature token with Toxic 1. This creature can't block, so it's crappy on blocking duty. Corrupted. As long as an opponent has 3 or more poison counters, creatures you control with Toxic have lifelink. So as much as you attack and keep dealing them poison counters, you gain that much life. Hedgeman with Villainous Wealth. Is this underrated? What do you guys think? Is Villainous Wealth underrated? Why play win conditions when you play the opponents? I think this is a very popular card. If one person says this is overrated or popular, I'm disqualifying it. It's a great card, don't get me wrong, but I actually think because it's a great card, everyone plays it. Nope. Not underrated. What are we doing here? Target opponent exiles the top X cards of their library. You may cast any number of spells with mana value X or less from among them without paying their mana cost. Who has not played against a villainous wealth in their life? I don't know, maybe it's underrated. Alright, we'll let it pass. No one seems to be very, doesn't feel very strongly about this card. Deltad, Earthquake Dragon. Oh, please be like Earthquake and Shivan Dragon all in one. Quite a few times in Commander, I got it out for 1 mana when no one expected it. Holy moly! 15 mana! What is this, Emrakul? Elemental Dragon. This spell costs X less to cast, where X is the total mana value of dragons you control. So you like have, I don't know, 2 or 3 dragons, you basically pay nothing. Flying Trample. For 3 mana, sack a land, Earthquake Dragon. Return Earthquake Dragon from your graveyard to your hand. Not bad. Not bad. Should be a staple in all the dragon decks. Hugh says, his name is Yo Liddy Ted, not Yo Little Ted. Well, around here, it's just, you know, Yo Little Ted just rolls off my tongue way better, way easier. And I like the comments I get in the comment section about people also reminding about this. It's free interaction. It just gnaws on people's mind just hard enough. You know, Yo Little Ted has been around here for like years. So I don't think he minds either. It was Baldur's Gate so hard to get. Oh, really? Sticky Fingers? Is that a real card? Sounds like an acorn card. Sticky Fingers. Oh, I put Stinky Fingers. Sticky Fingers. We're the Sticky Bandits. That's Sticky. S-T-I. Okay, red. It's a red aura. For 1 red. Enchanted creature has menace, and whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, create a treasure token. Should put Harry and Marv on the picture here. Whenever enchanted creature dies, draw a card. They didn't do anything. JoJo reference. I was quoting Home Alone. When were they the Sticky Bandits? I think they were the Sticky Bandits they were the Wet Bandits in the first one, and then they were the Sticky Bandits in the second one. Always a bigger fish. Song of the World Soul. A Winmore card that I enjoy. We got a red. Sorry, we have a white for generic enchantment. Whenever you cast a spell, populate. That is sick. I mean, it's a bit clunky. I get it, but like, you know, if they wipe your board, it's so easy to, you know, create a token that's a copy of a creature token you control. So they you know, after they wipe your board, you just play spells and then you build it all back. All right, what do we got here? Rut Boy with Grafdigger's Cage. That's like the last card I would think that you would say is underrated. Aren't you like a zombie player? Doesn't this screw you over? This is like me as a merfolk player saying, well, Ensnaring Bridge is underrated. Anyway, maybe you're just being honest. 1 mana artifact creatures in graveyards and libraries can't enter the battlefield, and players can't cast spells from graveyards or libraries. No BSing around here. AK-47. Blessed Sanctuary. We have a white 3 generic enchantment. Prevent all non-combat damage that would be dealt to you and creatures you control. So screw your earthquakes. Whenever a non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, create a 2/2 white unicorn creature token. I can see this getting out of hand quite quickly. Whenever a non-token, yeah. Anytime that you can play a creature and you get a creature with it, you create a huge army out of nowhere. Because it's a lot harder to build an army when you're playing 1 creature at a time. Rotboy admits, yeah, I hate this card. Why are you promoting it? Everyone's going to realize, oh my god, Rotboy's right, this card's insane. Must include in my decks. Hardly any unicorns, that's true. We need more unicorns in Magic. Nicholas with Conduit of Worlds. Green, green, 2 generic artifact. You may play lands from your graveyard. Well, that's nice. So it's basically like another Crucible of Worlds. You may play lands from your graveyard, tap, choose target non-land permanent card in your graveyard. If you haven't cast a spell this turn, you may cast that card. If you do, you can't cast additional spells this turn. Activate only as a sorcery. So, I mean, you just make it your last spell. Choose target non-land permanent card in your graveyard. If you haven't cast this, oh no, sorry, if you have, so basically forcing you not to cast any more spells. You may cast, so you didn't cast any more, you didn't play any spells, you can cast this thing from your graveyard. If you do, you can't cast additional spells this turn. You can always cast some more on your opponent's turn. Activate only as a sorcery. So it's Snapcaster Mage, sort of. It's Snapcaster Mage and Crucible Worlds all in one. It's pretty... That is a great card. And we have Nalia. One more, Abosh. This card does a lot of damage, truth be told. The 3/5, that could be your companion if you have only an odd number of cards. Your deck has only odd mana values. If a source you control with an odd converted mana cost would deal damage to a permanent or player, it deals double that damage instead to that permanent or player. We need more toads. We need more Kithkins, toads, everything. I guess they came... Did they come out with Kithkins? What's Frodo? Is he a Kithkin? No, he's a halfling. Let's not BS ourselves. They're all Kithkins, for crying out loud. All right, that's it for Coffee and MTG today. Thank you very much for joining me. If you want to be part of the show, you got to be here Monday to Friday, 11 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time. We're also going to thank everyone for supporting the channel. Everyone who's a patron on Patreon, a member on YouTube, or whoever super chats to be part of the show. Because of all your support, I am always here in the morning for all of you. And we got to, of course, thank everyone who shows up here in the morning. Like TCG Dude, Christopher B, Jess. We got Toads, Nalia, Rotboy, Slaven. We've got Pedgeman, Bulky, Steve Cooper. Who else do we have? Eduardo, Platonic Liquid, Erland. Who else do we have? Multi! Alan Barr, AK-47. And the Ultimate Ear. And damn Rotboy, Tommy Siddons, Nicholas. Because without all you guys, I'd have no show. So as usual, my coffee crew, keep brewing up them coffees. And we'll keep brewing up the magic. Take care of yourselves. And I will see you at the next cup.